An average nurse has less than $20,000 in their 401ks. And if that scares you, then good. We should have a conversation about retirement, about money, starting with your employer-sponsored retirement account, your 401k. Hi, my name is Elaine. I am a nurse practitioner, and I also just started a new job. I teach nurses how to invest their money and how to build wealth. And in this video, I want to talk about benefits in 401k. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I had just started my new job, and I just had to do my selection for my retirement today. This is the end of my week 1, and I thought I'd let you guys in this video to kind of see, what I elected for my 401k, what is a 401k even, how do you access it, like what other retirement accounts are there, that kind of stuff. So first of all, let's start with the truth. The truth is that yes, your job gives you your paycheck, you work hard for it, but it's not designed to help you retire early. And it's not designed for you to have a dignified retirement. That's just the way that the whole system is set up. And so I want you to take advantage of the money that you're making from your jobs by taking advantage of the benefits that you get from your work, starting with that employer-sponsored retirement account. Let's talk about what that is. When was the last time that you have opened your 401k retirement accounts? And actually, you know what? I would probably ask you, do you even know that you can access it? I know for sure when I started as a new grad nurse, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea how to access it. And I don't even know really anything much about it. And so I think in my first few years of being a nurse, you can see in here that I did not even contribute anything to my retirement. And so I don't want you to be like me. I want you to actually get started early with investing, and that way you can have the option to retire early, and you can have the option to have a dignified retirement if you do end up, working longer as a nurse. So what is a 401k? And no, it's not a marathon. It's not like one of those memes like you can see in here. It's funny because people are making fun of it, saying that it is some kind of a run. But no, a 401k really is an employer sponsored retirement account. And you probably have had a different name for it in your jobs. You may hear of a 403b or a 457b or, a TSB. They're all kind of similar in that these are retirement accounts that is sponsored by your employer. So in my job right now, I have a 403b. In my previous job, I have a 457b, and I've had a 401k before as well, which I did not opt in when I worked for a private, company. But essentially, the main difference with all of those names is that 401k is typically from a private company. And then if you're working for a public sector or a government, sector, then it may be 403b, 457b, or a TSB. So these are what we call tax advantage retirement accounts. So what does that mean? It means that it lowers down your taxable income. You're deferring your taxes for later. So even though you may not be paying taxes on that investments right now, when you take your money out, when you retire later on, you're going to be paying taxes on them. And a lot of retirement accounts, really, the main difference with most of them are tax implications. When you pay the taxes on it, for example, for a Roth IRA, you pay the taxes now, so it grows tax-free, and then the money that you take out from that account is tax-free as well. So we'll talk more about that kind of investment account, and I think I had made a video about, or a podcast episode on it. I'm going to put it in the show notes down below, or the description down below, because I think I talked about tax-free investments for nurses, and I talked about the Roth IRA. So you can check that out down below or right here. So for a 401k, which is the main topic of this video, or a 403b or a 457b, I'm just gonna say 401k for the purpose of this video. But so it's funded by pre-tax dollars. it is very, very beneficial if you are a high earner and you want to lower down your taxable income. So for 2025, the time that I am filming this video, the contribution limit for it is $23,000. So every year it's almost like it's always like going up by $500. It's a contribution limit, meaning that you can only contribute up to 23,000, and after that you cannot contribute to it anymore. So if you have multiple jobs, you may only be able to contribute a specific amount, because the total for all your 401k has to be $23,000. So this investment account like gets a lot of bad rep from some people, and probably if you have heard some financial advisors like talk crap about it, they're like, oh, don't tie your retirement to like the stock market, or it's not very it's not going to help you in the long run. It's a scam, that kind of stuff. I would like to say that that's a lie. 401ks, I know a bunch of people who have retired really well just on a 401k, but that granted, they've worked a long time as well. So 401ks are not a scam. It's one of those tools that you have to use under your belt if you're a nurse to supplement your retirement money. So what I had mentioned earlier, that a lot of people make the mistake of not really putting anything or contributing in their 401k, and they're not really taking full advantage of this retirement account. One thing that they miss out on is what we call a full employer match. And this is like just free money. What it means is that if you put a certain amount of contribution in your 401k, then that means that your employer will match you with that money. So this is literally free money on the table that you need to take advantage of. A lot of people only contribute to their retirement accounts, like in this 401k, up to the match that their employer would do, just so they can take advantage of that free money. If you want to learn more about that employer matching, like I actually make a video on 401ks already up here that you can check out. And these are some of the mistakes that people make with the 401k. So yeah, this is something that you need to take advantage of. So let's kind of look at my simple 401 checklist for nurses. Number one thing that you have to do is make sure that you enroll to this account. Sometimes like your employers would default it to like a specific amount of contribution, but for the most part, you do need to enroll on this yourself. So in my case, like I had just like looked at it, this morning, because I was like picking my medical plans like for my work, like looking at the benefits, like the dental, the vision, and all that stuff. I have to enroll my whole family. And it also gave me the task of like opening up a Fidelity account for my retirement. And so I opened it up, and then I enrolled. So the reason why this is the number one thing that you have to do is because you don't want to wait, and you don't want to miss out on that, investing early. A lot of people who don't know how to invest, or like a lot of nurses that I know who don't know how to invest, the least they could do is put their money in a high yield savings account, or take advantage of their employer's sponsored retirement account like this, like the 401k. So if you're investing in a 401k already, and your employer's taking money out of your paycheck to put in this retirement account, you're technically investing already, even though, like you don't specifically like pick your own investments, and you're not very hands-on with it. You're investing already. It's a good start, is what I'm saying. Two things that you have to do is contribute at least to that match, that what I had just mentioned earlier. If you don't want to put a lot of money in this retirement account, or if you don't, if you want to see the most of your money out of your paycheck, and you don't really care for the taxable income reduction, then contribute at least up to the match. So I would probably like call your benefits advisor at your work and ask like how much they're contributing, or like they're matching for your contribution. That way you can at least take advantage of that free money. Number 3 is that I want you to like log in. Like technology is great, like we're in a time right now where you can actually access your own retirement accounts. Like our retirement account is actually sponsored by Fidelity, my favorite one. So I have everything all in one place. Like I have my individual brokerage accounts, my Roth IRA, my HSA, and all that stuff. And I used to have them all in Fidelity. So it's great to see everything in one place. But log in and see where your 401ks are invested in. So a lot of people don't know that, like, when you do open up your 401ks or your employer sponsored retirement accounts, sometimes it automatically invests it for you or pick the investment for you, and they typically default to what we call target date funds. And target date funds are just like target retirement funds that gives you an asset allocation based on the date that you're going to be retiring. So typically the funds like kind of shift from like a more stable investment as you get closer to your retirement. So it kind of automatically balances for you. And a lot of people don't know that they can actually change that. So if you are more risky in investing, even though you're closer to your retirement date, you want to make more money and you feel like, you know how to invest on your own, you can actually change it. And so for me, I typically change it to a like a S&P 500 fund or like a low fee index fund, or sometimes I would keep it in that target date fund. But the most important thing is that it's invested somewhere. So, I mean, returns wise, like it depends also on how long you're going to be working for and when do you plan to retire. So those are some factors to consider. But like putting it in a target date fund or a low cost index fund sometimes is one of the best things that you can do, allocating your investments in this account. Number 4 thing that you have to do is that as you make more money, as your salary increases throughout the years, because of either bonuses or because of like inflation related, raises, it's also good to increase your contribution over time. So you may only start with like 5% or 6%. But increasing it over time ensures that you are investing more for your retirement. And really what they recommend is 15 to 20%, but of course everybody has different financial goals and it all depends really on your goals. But for me, I actually aim for like at least 10%. And one of the things that I learned as well with 401k matching is that like if you had maxed out early on in the year, the contribution limit, your employer is not going to match the rest of the year if you're already maxed out by, for example, September. This has happened to me before. I maxed out my contribution by September because I want to get like giving money and gifts during Christmas. But definitely like that, I did that for maybe a couple years and I realized that my employer stopped matching it once I max out my whole contribution. So make sure you're not making that mistake. And then lastly, one of the checklists that you have to do for your 401ks or your 403b or 457b is that don't take your money out of this retirement account. Like the whole point of having this is for retirement. So you have to give it time to grow. Like you have to take advantage of the compound interest, take advantage of the returns of your investments throughout the years. So as much as possible, like don't take money out of it unless it's an emergency. I know a lot of people who take money out of their retirement accounts or their 401ks just to buy like something, like buy a car or something. I wouldn't recommend that. And it depends also on your goals. I mean, like this is not like a one-to-one like recommendation or whatever, but as much as possible you want your money to grow. So you have to be patient. You have to take advantage of the whole interests growth over time. And unless your money is going to be spent somewhere where you have better returns, then you need to just like keep it in that account. So yeah, so that is my checklist for a 401k. And I know a lot of people who are probably wondering, then what am I going to do if I don't have a 401k or if my employer does not offer it. I know some people, if you're starting out with your new jobs and you're not a full-time employee, you may not have this 401k. It's typically only offered to full-time employees. So if you're starting maybe as a per diem or like as a part-time, some clinics don't even have it. When I worked in an urgent care before, they only offered it after a year. They don't even give it to you like right away. So what you can do in that case is to take advantage of other investment accounts. So, or other retirement accounts like the Roth IRA that I had mentioned earlier, or a traditional IRA if you want to have your own. So make sure that you are investing for your future, and make sure that the money that you're making now is also working hard for you in the future. And the only way to do that is to put it in a investment or retirement account like a 401k. So take advantage of it. So I know 401k is just one piece of your wealth building puzzle, and there are so many ways to build wealth. It's really one of those things that has its place in your financial freedom journey. And if you want to learn more about investing in the stock market, I do have an on-demand class that you can sign up down below. You can watch it anytime. I talk about stock market investing, mistakes that you need to avoid with stock market investing, along with some investment accounts that you can open. You can check it out down in the show notes. And if you want to learn more about how to build wealth as a nurse and become financially free as a nurse, that is what I do here. That is what I help you with, and that is what I want all of us to have as nurses. So make sure you follow the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.